So you're texting a girl, the vibe is great, and she asks you to FaceTime. Suddenly, your heart starts racing. You're staring at your phone thinking, wait, what do I even say on FaceTime? What if it gets awkward? That's where most guys panic and fumble any chance of progressing with the girl. But not you. I'm about to show you how to turn that FaceTime into a smooth setup for a link. But before I give y'all this life-changing sauce, I need you to go ahead and like the video. Just think about it. You'll never have an awkward FaceTime interaction ever again after this. Come on now, that gotta be worth a like. But alright, now that everybody liked the video, we can get started. First things first, before we dive into the actual steps of the FaceTime, let's get clear on why you're FaceTiming her in the first place. You want to remember, there are 3 main goals of a FaceTime: building a connection, sparking attraction, and setting up a link. Now that we know the goal of the FaceTime, let's get into the actual steps that we need to take to accomplish those goals. The first step in FaceTiming a girl is pre-call preparation. You gotta start by setting the scene. Make sure your background is clean, the lighting is good, and you're looking presentable, but not like too try hard like you're going to a wedding. You still want to keep it casual so it doesn't look like you're trying too hard. You don't want to be in your crib with your most expensive fit on. The goal should be to communicate that you care about your hygiene. The worst thing you can do is hop on FaceTime and look like you haven't washed your face or clothes in a month. Besides your appearance and your environment, you also want to have an icebreaker. It doesn't have to be anything too crazy. You really just want to avoid that initial awkward phase. That shouldn't really be that hard though. All you have to do is just keep up the conversation that y'all was having through messages. For example, I was texting this girl about her experience at a particular college, and then when I asked to get on FaceTime, we just continued the conversation. This is a very important step because females are extremely shy when they first get on FaceTime. I don't know why this is, but this is like a universal rule. Anybody who has any experience talking to girls knows this. You're gonna have to put so much work in to just get her to show her full face in the camera. And if it's the first FaceTime, she's not gonna be comfortable enough with you to really be having an enthusiastic conversation. So you can't give her additional reasons to not be talking. You gotta have some type of game plan. Niggas probably gonna think I'm over exaggerating this point until they're on FaceTime staring at a girl in silence. But look, the last part about the pre-call preparation is making sure your phone or your Wi-Fi is up to the task of actually FaceTiming. You don't wanna give a girl any reason to not wanna talk to you. As I previously stated, there's already gonna be some initial resistance simply because she does not know you, assuming this is the first FaceTime. Like bro, even if the girl is already liking you, every time you lag, your aura dropping like 10 points. There's no way to sound cool and sauce up any female while you're lagging. That shit just doesn't work. You're better off just texting her at that point. But alright, with that being said, we can move on to step 2, starting the call. When she picks up, you want to greet her confidently but nonchalant. You don't want it to seem like you was waiting all day and you're just so happy to be on FaceTime with her. Literally just relax. Every time I get on the phone with a girl, all I say is, yo, what you doing? Now, y'all might be saying, oh, that shit lame, that shit corny. But it actually works. Not necessarily because of what I'm saying, but because how I'm saying it. This literally could be your first time FaceTiming a girl, but you don't want her to know that. She has to feel like you do this on a daily basis. Like it's just another day in the office for you. So after you greet her in a calm, confident way, this is where the real conversation starts. Keep in mind, when you start the conversation, you want to keep it playful. Don't take the interaction too seriously. Like as I said before, when she answers and her face isn't all the way in the camera, you can tease her by saying something like, you must be catfish because you hiding your face too much. Or you can go the other route and try to like compliment her by saying, you look too good to be hiding your face. Either of these work because it shows that you're not taking this shit too seriously. You're keeping it light and engaging. Pay attention to her mood. If she seems excited, match that energy. Keyword match. If you see her being excited, don't just go off the rails and start overly yapping. The absolute most important thing to do at this stage is accurately read her vibe. People who are bad at communicating and struggle to hold conversations typically do so because they're not actually listening to the person they're talking to. You have to listen intently to what she's saying so you can have an engaging response. But even more than that, you have to pick up on how she's feeling. Like if y'all are talking about sports for some reason and she's really just not feeling that topic, you got to be able to pick up on that so you can shift the conversation to a more engaging topic. I want y'all to remember, the best conversationalists do more listening than talking. But alright, you've started the call, now it's time for step 3, building comfort and attraction. This step is all about the vibe. What you want to do is keep the conversation flowing, use humor, and tease her playfully. You should also start throwing in some compliments. Nothing too serious though. You want it to still have kind of a comedic edge to it. Like if you notice she looks good, you can say, I see you're putting in effort just for me. I appreciate it. That sounds way cooler than, you're very beautiful and your eyes are just twinkling and like bro, do y'all hear how that sounds? That shit is lame. Nothing you say to her has to be lame. If you can't think of a cool way to say something, you probably shouldn't be saying it. Besides compliments, storytelling also works wonders when it comes to building comfort and attraction. You really want her to be doing most of the talking, but if there's an opportunity for you to share a funny or interesting story, don't hesitate to share it. But also when she's engaged and she really wants to talk, literally just let her talk. That's really all you want to do. If you can get her yapping, you literally won. When she starts showing herself to want to talk and she's heavily engaged, it's literally over with. All you have to do at that point is let her talk. Like, bro, if it's one thing girls love to do, it's talk. When she really starts yapping, you'll be surprised at how much interest she starts showing. Like, one time I tried to slide on this female that went to my school and she was not going. But then I started talking to her a lot and naturally building rapport, and all of a sudden she was throwing that shit to me. And at the time I was surprised because I really wasn't even trying to sauce that shit up. But now I know that a big part of progressing with females is literally just getting them comfortable with you. And girls get comfortable with you by talking. You don't even really have to give them too much info about you. They really just want to talk about themselves and have you comment on it. The only thing you have to do is pay enough attention to comment on what she's telling you and maybe throw out a joke here and there. That's literally the entire formula. If you can get her yapping and you can just listen and chime in here and there with jokes, you're literally in there, up 3-1. There's literally no way you fumble. But I can't stress this enough. You have to act like you're interested and invested in what she's saying, even if you don't give a fuck. Because if she thinks you're faking or you're really not listening, she's gonna assume that you're just trying to hit and you're never gonna link this girl. You have to genuinely inquire about the stuff she's telling you. I recommend you read the book How to Win Friends and Influence People if you want a more in-depth explanation about this. But with that being said, we can move on to step 4, deepening the connection. Once the comfort is built, steer the conversation into slightly deeper topics. Ask about her passions, her weekend plans, or even something random like, if you could teleport anywhere right now, where would you go? This ties back into females loving to talk, but this step is more about making the conversation feel meaningful and memorable. Think about it like this. She's probably FaceTiming another guy. He probably talks to her and lets her yap, but everything is surface level. There's no deeper conversation. Inquiring about her on a deeper level sets you apart from the other guys. Women especially appreciate this because most of the time that they talk to guys, it's clear that they just want to hit. Guys rarely inquire about a girl's passions, so doing this at the very least will set you apart. But don't get me wrong, you never want to have serious life conversations with girls, but you want to communicate that you're trying to get to know her on a deeper level. You're not discussing politics with her. You're more so asking about her dream job or dream house. You might think this shit is lame, but trust me, this the type of shit that actually lingers on the girl's mind. Okay, so you called her, built some comfort and attraction, and deepened the connection. Now it's time for step 5, setting up the link. By this time, you've already put in all the work. By this point, she likes you a little bit, she's comfortable with you. Now you just have to ask to link. You don't want to make this like some big thing though. You want to ask casually. You can say something like, this would be more fun in person, let's link soon. You could even throw in food to make the offer more enticing. Like, we could grab something to eat. If she doesn't agree to go get food with you, you're actually cooked. Females rarely deny food. But look, this is very important. After you suggest linking, you have to read the room. If she's not going, immediately make it low pressure. Say something like, no rush, but when you're down, let me know. You kind of want to shrug it off. Act like you really don't care. This is the best thing that you can do to turn that no into a yes. If you start tweaking and asking her shit like, why can't we link? Forget about linking her. You may never talk to her on the phone again. But alright, whether she says yes or no to the link, the next step would be ending the call. The last thing you want to do is let the call drag on. Wrap it up while the energy is still good. This makes her want to call you again. If you end the call while it's kind of boring and the energy's dying down, she's not going to be as compelled to pick up the conversation. It's like you're overstaying your welcome at that point. You want her to think at the end of the conversation, I wish we could have talked for longer. Not, damn nigga, can you get off my phone? You can even make it to where you don't got to talk to her no more till you actually link. You can say something like, I'm finna be busy this week, but I'll talk to you in person Saturday. Then we can pick up this conversation. This leaves her actually anticipating the link. That's really all there is to it. Build the connection, create attraction, and smoothly set up the link. That's all I got for this video. Like and subscribe if you learned something, and share some of y'all FaceTime dubs or L's in the comments. But alright, with that being said, thanks for watching. I'm gonna catch y'all.